Today for Cliff Notes Tuesday, I'm going to be going over Chapter 3 of Patty Mugen's link building book entitled What You Need to Know About Google PageRank. So very exciting chapter, I know. And we're going to be going through kind of some of Patty's own opinions, some historical information about PageRank and how it came to be, and also some really good practical applications. So to begin with, the first thing that Patty mentions and continues to bring up throughout the chapter is that he believes that PageRank is a metric that gets too much focus by the SEO and larger digital marketing community. That doesn't mean that it shouldn't be looked at all. It's definitely important, but it's just one of many important metrics, and alone it doesn't give you a great indication of what's going on. But it is really important to understand some core concepts about PageRank in terms of how it works, specifically how it influences what you do in SEO. And also there are some good useful applications for it. So to start off with, PageRank was invented by Larry Page, and that's actually where it gets its name from. A lot of people wrongly believe that PageRank comes from referring to a web page, but in fact it comes from Larry Page's last name. So he originally introduced the concept of PageRank in a paper that he wrote in 1999, so quite a while ago. It's been around for a while. Basically, PageRank is scored on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the best or the highest. And what it basically defines is for a given page, it's a score based on the number and quality of links pointing to that page. So what we commonly look at as SEOs every day is actually a metric called Toolbar PageRank, or it's what it's been kind of come to be named. And you can find Toolbar PageRank by using various browser plugins for Chrome and for Firefox. But there are some really important caveats to remember about Toolbar PageRank. First of all, it's not the live PageRank, so it's not a completely accurate, up-to-date PageRank. It's only updated every few months, and the numbers are rounded. In actuality, real PageRank is a very long decimal, which is what allows for Google to effectively rank the billions of pages that it's giving PageRank to, versus just an interval digit 1 to 10. And it's also a very fluid score, and it's updated constantly. So that's really important to keep in mind, that when you are looking at Toolbar PageRank, it is just that, Toolbar PageRank, not actual PageRank. So all of these factors lead to it not being a completely reliable metric, again, on its own. However, the next section of this chapter, Patty goes on to define some useful applications. So the first use Patty talks about is using it to check or influence how Google crawls your site. So one thing we know about Google, and Google has said publicly, is that they do use PageRank to determine how they're going to crawl your site. Actually, if you look at this graph down here, this is something that Google has put out. So how does Google crawl your site? Basically, you can see this inverse relationship here with PageRank, so in a decreasing order of PageRank. So that's really important to remember, because it can give you an indicator of how Google is crawling and therefore caching your own website. So the application for this is you can use PageRank by checking PageRank on the different pages around your site at different levels of pages, category pages, product level pages, and to understand how PageRank is being distributed throughout your site. So the most important thing to note here is that you're making sure that the most important pages, the pages that you want to show up in the SERPs for really important key terms, have good PageRank, and that would indicate that they're being crawled and cached regularly by Google. The other thing you want to highlight is looking for areas on your site that have little or no PageRank. This probably means that Google isn't valuing them as highly, isn't caching and crawling those pages as regularly, so you might need to fix the link flow there if those are in fact important pages. The other thing you can do in this kind of application is combine this information with server log file analysis to understand what's not being crawled very much, and then again apply that and address your PageRank flow accordingly to make sure Google is crawling the most important pages. The second use that Patty touches on is using PageRank for link prospecting and filtering. So he really emphasizes again here, this should not be a hard limit. So using it kind of like a rule, like I'm not even going to consider reaching out to sites that are under a PageRank 4 would be kind of silly, because you could potentially be missing some really valuable relationships there. And again, it doesn't completely define what that, a potential link from that page could do for your site. So he does say you can use it to filter if you have very large, unmanageable lists of potential prospecting sites. You can use it to filter it down. But again, it should not be used as the only metric to make that decision about link building prospects. The third use is using PageRank as a rough indicator of the quality of incoming links to your site. So obviously this goes hand in hand with the link prospecting one. And a really good post that Patty mentions in this is from Richard Baxter on SEO Gadget, so check that out if you have a chance. And basically, a good use for here is you can find your lower quality links, see how that quality is decreasing or increasing over time, and potentially find links that you might want to remove, or just using those scores in analysis purposes. So after kind of highlighting all these applications, again, Patty mentions that PageRank should always be combined with other metrics, and when it is, it can lead to good link analysis. All right, so the next section of the chapter is on PageRank sculpting. So that might cause some of you to recoil in fear, or maybe some of you to get really excited. It's definitely a hot topic among the SEO community, and still is today. So basically, PageRank sculpting refers to controlling the flow of PageRank between the pages of your site. And that can be both ways. So that can be increasing the flow to really important pages, like category and product level pages that you want to rank well in the SERPs. But similarly, it can be preserving PR on certain pages as well. So both controlling the flow going out of pages as well as coming into particular pages. Google has said, because this is a tactic that was kind of used and exploited by SEOs back in the day, that this no longer works. They've said that they've updated the algorithm, and it can overcome former tactics that SEOs would use to sculpt their PageRank on their websites. However, it is something definitely still good to look at. Patty really encourages you to use this to just focus on enabling flow to key pages through things that should be good practices for your website anyway in terms of SEO and just user experience. So things like really good site structure for both users and search engines, good navigation, good architecture, information architecture. And also just making sure that your key pages are close to the home page, but still findable. So if it makes sense for them to be close to the home page, then they should be there. All right, so then the final area of this chapter covers why is Google the best at search results? Why are they the leader, and why consistently are their results the best? Why are they the most relevant? So the first thing that Patty highlights is links. They were the first search engine to use links when everyone else was relying completely on keyword relevance and really stuffing keywords into websites. Google started using links, and of course this was all inspired by Larry Page and his original PageRank paper, which you should definitely give a read if you ever have a minute. So the way that Larry Page originally kind of compared this concept to was citations in university papers. So he noticed among his schooling that people would include citations if they wanted to reference other writings or studies that they found, appropriate and also influential. So I wanted to read a quote on that really quickly. Larry Page said, "It turns out people who win the Nobel Prize have citations from 10,000 different papers. A large number of citations in scientific literature," he said, "means your work was important because other people thought it was worth mentioning." So that's where originally this whole concept came from. Basically, they found, the first thing Google realized, or Larry Page realized, is that it's really hard to understand what makes good content. So links enabled them to do that in a really scalable way, to understand what's not only the best content, but the most influential. Another really important concept here that Larry Page noted right from the start was, while links are important, not all links are created equal and they should be valued differently. So a good quote on that is, the Google search engine has two important features that help it to produce high precision results. First, it makes use of the link structure of the web to calculate a quality ranking for each web page. This ranking is called PageRank and is described in detail in another section. Second, Google utilizes links to improve search results. So basically what he was saying is, you know, links, we look at this overall structure of the web, not only to say how many links are pointing to you, but that page that's pointing to you, how many links are pointing to them, and similarly. And that's what we refer to in today's current SEO world as link neighborhoods most often. So then, kind of what this establishes, it makes the web democratic. Everyone has a vote, and that all goes into determining what are the most influential pages that should rank well. So, and why this is a good system is it scales really well. You know, obviously the web has billions and billions of pages, so it works for that. And it also gives a score with a lot of confidence behind it because it's looking at an overall, you know, graph of how pages are linking to each other, not just kind of one level or one cross section. The other concept that this chapter refers to is random surfing, which is basically looking at kind of the user journey. So if somebody were to click into a website and then click somewhere else, then click somewhere else, and whatever that path is that they would follow through links actually on the pages, and then whatever page that they would end up on, that page would be considered more important. So what, you know, it's basically saying the user experience there through links would determine the importance of a page as well. Okay, the second thing that makes Google's results better than everyone else's or has in the past is that they do use anchor text as a determinant as well. So this helps Google determine the context of a particular page. So basically when links are going into a page, Google looks at the anchor text that's linking there, and that helps them determine what that page is relevant about. So a really good quote on that is, "The text of links is treated in a special way in our search engine. Most search engines associate the text of a link with the page that the link is on. In addition, we associate it with the page the link points to." So we all understand anchor text, and I think we take it a little bit for advantage, but originally back in the day, other search engines were just looking at an anchor text as additional content on that page, not saying this is actually a reference to what they're linking out to. And so that's what Google additionally incorporated. So when this first kind of came out as a major ranking factor for Google, SEOs definitely exploited this, and that's why you see so many backlink portfolios nowadays that are very, very unbalanced in this sense. So Google has definitely kind of reined that in. It's still a major ranking factor, but especially recently in 2012, obviously the Penguin updates have really addressed uneven and unbalanced anchor text to try to limit the way that SEOs can use this to their advantage. So that is pretty much the whole chapter, and a lot of good information there. So definitely, if you do have time, I would read the chapter because it's pretty helpful, and certainly check out Larry Page's paper on PageRank as well if you have time. Thanks so much.